Okay, so did you guys know that I to the 97th power equals I? But why does this matter? In math, in English, and in science, and in history, we are taught many things that do not pertain to us at all after high school. I had Mr. Clark my sophomore year for algebra 2, and he did this exact same example at the beginning of class. He went up, he turned to us, and he said, "This class is going to be completely useless for the majority of you." This caught me really off guard because what teacher tells their students on their very first day of school that their class is going to be completely useless to them? So I kind of took this with a grain of salt. I did the class, and I kind of realized he was right. Not a lot of people are going to need imaginary numbers. And over the course of the past few years, that has dawned on me even more, that all of these classes that are required through the high school curriculum are useless. Well, okay, not all of them, but a lot of them are. You're not going to need a math class if you're going to be an English major. You're not going to need to know about Shakespeare if you're going to be an engineer. So I'm going to be talking about college majors change. College majors have high change rates and are caused by a lack of high school preparation classes, raising the question of how big of a problem high school curriculums are. So, the first study I'm going to show you guys is a recent report estimated that by 2020, 65% of jobs will require a post-secondary education training, and this was said by the Department of Education in 2020. So this is a very large amount of schooling that needs to be done after high school. 65% is a very large number, and this means that a lot of you guys are going to go either into college or trade school or do online schooling after high school. And my SurveyMonkey results reflected this, as literally every single one of you guys who answered, at least from the 10 that I got, said you were all going to college. So on top of this, approximately 1/3 of college freshmen changed their major, with the average person changing their major 3 times. And this is a result of a 2021 Harvard survey. So, with the 65% of people going into post-secondary education and the average college person changing their major 3 times, this is a lot of wasted money for no reason. And this shows that there is something wrong here. Why are people changing their majors so much? So what are some causes behind this? Some of the causes are changing aspirations. It's inevitable that people are going to go into college and they're going to go, "Oh dang, this is really cool. I didn't think about this beforehand." So then they're going to change their major to something that they had a newfound desire to do. But another thing is a lack of previous knowledge on what they're going into. This affects me personally because I'm going into a computer science major next year, and I've had no opportunities to take any real introduction to computer science or programming classes in high school. Okay, so it's obvious high school is the problem. So as I said, there are many unnecessary topics taught. We are required to take 4 English classes, 3 math classes, 3 history classes, and 3 science classes throughout our high school years. And although these classes provide general knowledge like basic grammar and basic math, which everyone's going to have to do, specific topics such as Shakespeare or imaginary numbers or other things are not so catered towards everyone. And this just shows that while we're taking these classes, this wastes our time where we could be taking other, more future-oriented classes. Classes like, and although we have electives, they're not required. Classes like foods, or like driver's ed, or like just learning like how to change a tire. I don't know how to change a tire. I don't know if you guys do. But that's a really simple thing that could be taught in a class. And this kind of arises with Common Core. Common Core is not the problem. Common Core has caused budget cuts and layoffs that have majority affected 34 of 50 states and led to the elimination of more than 300,000 teaching positions. I don't like this statistic, but I included it. It's biased. because it's just ripping on Common Core, but Common Core was actually pretty helpful as well. Common Core and the No Child Left Behind Act had several benefits, increasing the amount of schooling across the nation. But like this shows, it also decreased budgets, and it eliminated a lot of teaching positions. And this really shows the fine line that we have to find in order for the high school curriculum system to be perfect. And it's probably not ever going to be possible, because how is everyone going to be able to get an education, and yet everyone's going to have the budget for pretty much any major technological class? Okay, so as I just said, the solution is very tricky, and there are any change that would have to happen would have to affect schools all across the nation. The solution that I propose, though, is a simple one, and that is just increasing CTE classes. CTE classes are career and technical education classes, and these are anything from, for me, a computer science class, or even this class is a career and technical education class, because everyone's going to have to learn to do speech. Everyone's going to have to speak in front of someone at some point in their life. So this is an example, and we are lucky because we are in a close proximity to John A. We have a lot of dual credit classes, and we have a pretty well-rounded elective system that our students can take. Not every school is so lucky, though, and this really shows with just how little classes there are. So I'm going to show you guys a video on career and technologically advanced classes. Do you know how to do this?
Push copy.
Well, and then just put it in.
Yeah.
I mean, I showed this before, just
I think it's really cool because I talked to many different people that have graduated high school, and they've never had any type of opportunity like this, and they wish they did too, and they wish they had the exposure. I like to do something that will set me up for my future instead of doing like art or something that I'm really not interested in. And this actually looks better on my resume, and this actually has benefits to it, like certification. So this means a lot to me.
And we teach preschool because you teach preschool during the year when they're getting a math problem and they're still getting it wrong. But I teach them a method and they're like, okay, I'm gonna get it right the next time. And we're celebrating. It's those moments that are reassuring that I'm like, this is what I want to do with my life.
Now that I have access to Premiere, not only Premiere but Photoshop and Adobe InDesign, been able to learn how to work those programs and increase my skill sets when I fill out my resume and say to other people that might want to hire me, hey, I know how to do this.
It's definitely showed me the value of getting this experience prior to entering college, because it's okay to not know what you want to do when you're in college, but it's a lot nicer to not spend thousands of dollars to figure out what you want to do in college, and to really graduate with a degree that holds the value that you want it to hold.
I'm really grateful, truly, that it's just given me the opportunities to, I mean, I haven't owned my house in 25, and just giving me opportunities to not come out of a program or out of a college traditional route with a lot of debt over my head. I had a job before I graduated high school, and to progress to where I am today.
okay, so that video. So that video shines CTE classes in a very positive light. But on top of this, 89% of parents think that students should receive more education about career choices while in high school. So the combination of these two things together show that it is a very common thought of thing that there should be more CTE classes and other future-oriented classes in high school. Okay, so to conclude, a lot of high school classes are useless but are required through the curriculum. This leads to very high major change rates in college and a waste of a lot of money. More CTE classes, career and technical education classes, would help this drastically, but of course, nothing is going to be perfect. We have already gone through high school ourselves, so we are not going to be fortunate enough to really experience the benefits of more CTE classes, but our children and future generations have not. So if this were to happen, it could save us and our children and future generations a lot of money in the long run. Thank you.